Look at
Hi
this.
soulmates, welcome back again to my channel. Today we'll be recreating this look.
Isn't it great?
Backless
Chris! I know,
gown
it's my
with a
dream.
sleeve. So
I have
let's
goosebumps
dive into
everywhere.
the tutorial. Meanwhile,
This
this
is
is the result of our recreation. Hope it's looking wonderful. This is the back and this is the front. So this is vintage material and it's 4 years of fabric. So we'll be using it for the tutorial. So first I'll be marking out the half length of the gown. So the half length I'm making use of is 15 inches plus 1 inch for joining, that is 16 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark the 16 inches, then I'll be running the dots. After which shall we proceed in cutting it out. So this is the pattern we'll be working with. So the first thing I'm going to mark is shoulder measurement. 16 inches divided by 2 is 8 inches. Then that 8 inches I'll be placing it here also. Then from the top I'll be marking 9 inches for the armhole, which I will proceed in rolling the dots. So here I'll be marking out that 9 inches also. So the next thing I'm going to do is to insert the bust measurement here. Bust measurement divided by 4. So on the shoulder I'll be coming down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Then I will measure what is remaining, divide it by 2. In the middle I will come in by half an inch to get the armhole curve. So the next thing I'm going to do is to insert 3 inches width, 2 inches depth, though I later trim out 1 inch, making it 3 inches by 3 inches, but here I first mark 3 inches width and 2 inches depth. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect the shoulder to the neck width. So the next thing I'm going to do is to insert the waist measurement divided by 4. So I'm going to connect it to bust measurement. So the next thing is to place the nipple to nipple measurement. This is 8 inches bust span. Then I will go down by 10. This is 10 inches nipple point, then 1 inch below the 10 inches I will place that 4 inches also there. That is where the dart is going to start. 11 inches, 1 inch below the bust point. So here I'll be marking half of an inch on the both side for dart intake. So the next thing I'm going to do is to replace this bust that intake on this side. Then I'll add it half of an inch, which I will use to turn the edge. So here I'll be adding half of an inch also. On the bust, I only added half of an inch for the side turning. Then on the waist, I added 1 inch for that intake and half of an inch. This front pattern will not be having seam allowance because it's backless. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I've already done cutting it here. From the shoulder, I'll come down by 5 inch to mark the bust dart. This is optional. For the bust dart is optional. You just take small inches so that it will not be caping. So I cut this pattern on fold. So here I'll be slashing it into two. I'll use one for the back pattern. So I'll be using this for the back pattern. It's just simple. You just connect the shoulder to armhole this way, from shoulder to armhole. The shoulder to armhole, why you are going to the armhole is to enable you to add the sleeve. So this is it for the back pattern. I will be making use of only the armhole side. So that is it for the back. This is how the front and the back will be looking at the end of the day. So for the down pattern is a kind of flare, but not too flare. So I'll be folding it this way. So this is how I'll be cutting it. I will trace till I get the waist measurements plus 1 inch for sewing. Then I will mark a straight line there. So I'll go ahead and insert the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then from there I will go down by 9 inches. This is the hip line. Not minding that this hip line is not necessary because it's a free down part. So from the waistline, I will go this way to get the full length, though the camera is not showing everything. So this is how I'll be placing it to get the full length. The full length I'm making use of is 48 inches. So here I'll be inserting the waist measurements plus 1 inch for seam allowance. And here is hip divide by 4 plus 1 inch for seam allowance. Then I added it 2 inches for ease. So it's equal so that hip measurement is not necessary. When you get the waist, just mark it down to your full length. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is it. This is unfold. This is how the down part is looking like. I'll use the front to cut out the back. So I use the front to cut out the back. The difference is that I slashed the back into two and I added 1 inch for zip allowance. So for the sleeve length is 24 plus 2 inches for elastic. Then here for the sleeve cap, for the arm cap, I normally use 5 inches, but I times it by 2, which is 10 inches because I'll be making it a kind of gathers. So from there, I go down by 5 inches. So the round sleeve is 12 inches. 12 inches divided by 2 is 6 inches. So I times it by 2 also, which gave me 12 inches. So everything needs to be free. So that is how I get the sleeve. So I went ahead to use the half length pattern to cut out the up part. I didn't add any other allowance except the shoulder. This is it, the shoulder. I added half of an inch for the shoulder. Then for the back pattern, I'm cutting it total of 4 because I will be using this particular material to turn it. It's supposed to be 2 if you're using another material as lining, but I'm using this particular material as lining. So I'm cutting it 4 into 4 places. And I added inches on the shoulder and at the back part. The only place I did not add allowance is on the armhole. So this is how it's looking like. So I will be using this particular material also to turn out the front neck. This is how I'm cutting it. I don't want to use a bias tape to turn the neck. So remember I said at the initial time that I use 3 inches by 2 inches. So here is where I reduce it to 3 by 3 inches. So the next thing is to turn out the front neck. So I've done stitching it here. I'll go ahead and notch it, then top stitch and iron. So for the back pattern, I've already turned out the back side. I've sewn on the back side, so I'll go ahead and notch and turn it out and iron also. So here I've done ironing it down. This is how it's looking like now. The next thing I'm going to do is to insert the darts both on armhole side. So I've done inserting the darts the necessary places. So the next thing is to join the shoulder of the neck in front and the back pattern this way. So I'll go ahead and join the shoulder, then join here also with the allowance that we added. So here I've done joining the two sides, after which I will go ahead and fold it this way so that I will have a neat finishing. Fold it this way. You will do the same thing on the other side. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold the down part of the sleeve for the elastic. Make elastic casing, then gather here and join to the top. I've done joining the sleeve to the top part. This is how it's looking like. So the next thing is to join the front to front, that is the front up to front back, starting from the middle. You will be left with the allowance that we added on the skirt part. So let me trace the middle first on the top and then trace it on the down part also. When you join the middle to middle, you'll be left with the allowance that we added on the down part. Before then, make sure that you arrive at your waist measurement for the up part. It will be your waist measurement divided by 2. So for the back pattern, I'll be folding it in this way, double folding to have a neat finish. Then I will join the two back together and add the zip. So I've done joining the two and done adding the zip here. So here is to join the two skirts together, the two down together with the inches that is remaining. Join this side with the inches that is remaining. Join this side also. So after doing that, the next thing is to add the slit. So I'll be adding the slit on exact where the dart falls. So from the dart area, I'll be coming down by 13 inches. You can make yours lower, you can make yours higher depending on how you want yours to be. So I'll go ahead and slit it, making sure that it's on a straight line. Only the front pattern, remember.